Welcome to the Global Silent Minute, Regeneration Through Silence. I am Dot Maver here in the USA with co-founder Wendy Thompson in Sydney, Australia, representing the three groups that are custodians of the Global Silent Minute. It is a great joy that this Global Silent Minute at 9 p.m. GMT leads into the event The Longest Night, Embracing Grief, Celebrating Light, on this sacred December solstice 2021. Over to you, Wendy.
Thank you, Dot. So the theme this year for the annual Global Silent Minute is regeneration through silence. 2 years ago, recognizing the myriad of challenges facing humanity, we called for a Global Silent Minute to take the opportunity to pause for a minute of silence, the exact same minute everywhere, to reflect, to take stock, and to recalibrate the direction in our own lives and humanity as a whole. We could not have foreseen that humanity would subsequently be offered an unprecedented and sustained opportunity to participate in an extended pause, to reflect on what really matters at an individual, group, national, and global level. In the second year of the annual Global Silent Minute, our theme was centered around the chalice of silence, acknowledging the significance of this symbol at this time, a symbol for a vessel for our common union or communion as the one humanity beyond the apparent barriers of the beauty of our diverse expressions. In this third year of the annual Global Silent Minute, we're focusing the theme of regeneration through silence, as we recognize the need for our hearts to beat to a new rhythm that connects the outer and the inner worlds.
Yeah, I've been letting them in.
We're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, call them that.
It's said in the ageless wisdom that a time would come when our hearts would beat in sync with the heartbeat of the Mother of the world, who not only embraces our planetary life, but also whose fabric underpins the entire cosmos, unifying spirit and matter. We feel this new rhythm as we take up our destined role as custodians for this beautiful blue planet. The DNA of the Global Silent Minute has been inspired by three elements at the heart of the Big Ben Silent Minute. Firstly, the recognition of the power of cooperation between those in incarnation and those out of incarnation. Wellesley Tudorpole knew the instigator for the Big Bang Silent Minute, knew of the potential of the Silent Minute to be a meeting place between the visible world of appearances and the eternal invisible realms, a portal for cooperation in selfless service for the benefit of all life. Secondly, we recognize the power of silence as the mechanism or means through which this cooperation between the worlds takes place. The silence of which we speak is not the opposite to speech nor sound. It has been said that under all speech that is good for anything, there lies a silence that is better. Silence is as deep as eternity and is present underneath our words if we identify with it. Silence, rather than related to speech, is connected to our relationship with our greater identity, the intangible, invisible, the eternal part of ourselves. The power of silence is the energy we experience as we reconnect with the realms of soul and spirit. It's an energy of exquisite creative tension, which is paradoxically both spacious and laser-focused, thunderingly surging and whisper quiet, universal and individual, still and dynamically in motion, exquisitely subtle and powerfully present within the flow of life. We can all recall moments of opening up where one's being, one's group, humanity is overwhelmed by the energy of silence and the restorative power it brings as we enter it, and the silence in turn enters us. At its deepest level, we cease to be aware of ourselves and yet are intimately connected in common union or communion with all life. When we unify in silence, something significant is taking place, and such concentrated silence gathers a special energy known as silence as action. As we unify in silence on this global solstice, we recognize the special energy of silence as action as the initiating energy, causing creative manifestation. We recognize silence as action as we work more effectively from our whole identity. The third element that the Global Silent Minute has employed from the original Big Ben Silent Minute is preceding the minute of silence with the sound of a bell. The Big Ben Silent Minute uses the bells of Big Ben broadcast, or use the bells of Big Ben broadcast via radio. When we launched the Global Silent Minute, Big Ben was and still is undergoing extensive renovations. We realised we needed a different sound that would ring true for the moment in recognition of our planetary recalibration underway in relation to the visible and invisible worlds. Mount Kailash, the mountain sacred to 4 major religions, resides in the Himalayas in Tibet at the top of the world, and is said to be the place where the legendary mountain at the centre of the universe, Mount Meru, comes to rest on Earth. As the central pivot around which the whole of creation revolves, it is the site where the temporal and the eternal meet. And when we look at its form, it's as if a divine sculptor moulded it into the shape of a bell. Indeed, Mount Kailash is called the Mountain of the Bell. It is said that the beauty of the cosmos is manifested in silence through the ringing of the cosmic bell, which resounds on Earth through the Mountain of the Bell and resonates through the bell center that resides within each and every one of us. The clip that will play at the top of the hour features the image of Mount Kailash, the Mountain of the Bell, the planetary bell, as we imagine it powerfully sounding its silence throughout the globe. After the minute of silence, you'll hear a Tibetan singing bowl sounding 12 times, like slow waves rippling out. We invite everyone to take the opportunity to immerse in and listen to the silence and the rhythm of these waves as we regenerate through silence. In a moment, Dot will tell the story of the original silent minute and prepare us to enter the global silent minute.
Welcome, everyone. Let us take a deep breath together and unite our hearts across distance as we prepare to enter 1 minute of silence. To use silence as action in sacred unity, imagine millions of us around the world at the exact same minute at the top of this hour, focused together on global cooperation, peace, and freedom. There is a great renewal in silence. What inspired us to gather for a minute of silence? The Global Silent Minute was inspired by the original Big Ben Silent Minute. In 1917, Wellesley Tudor Pole was with a fellow British officer on a battlefield just outside Jerusalem. The officer said he had a vision that he would not survive the war, could see a greater war coming that would be fought on land, air, and sea, and asked Wellesley Tudor Pole to find a way for him and the millions on the other side to assist through silence to end this war. He said, "The power of silence is greater than you know." He died on the battlefield the next day. And 23 years later, in 1940, Wellesley Tudor Pole found the mechanism to meet his comrade's request. London was being bombed, and he initiated the Big Ben Silent Minute with the support of Churchill, the King, and Parliament. Each night at 9 p.m., Big Ben would sound the bells, and the BBC radio would go silent for 1 minute. British on land, sea, and air participated, along with the Commonwealth of nations and territories. After the war ended, a high-ranking German officer said, "We couldn't find a way to counter the secret weapon of the British." It was preceded by ringing of bells, and I believe they called it the Silent Minute. Today, we are dealing with many battlefields, including economic, political, cultural, racial, religious, climate change. We all long for a better world, a world that works for everyone. We long for a way to address the pain and suffering, the all systems breakdown we are experiencing on this planet. Today, our Global Silent Minute offers an opportunity to come together around an all systems breakthrough. Knowing that two concordant thoughts increase the power 7-fold. Imagine the power of millions of us. As we enter together our Global Silent Minute, we have a wonderful opportunity, a powerful opportunity through our sacred unity in silence as action to shift consciousness on this beautiful planet we all call home. As we experience a unification of hearts across distance, no separation, and a shared intention. As we approach the exact time of the silent minute, let's review what will happen. We will ring bells. Millions of us on both sides of the veil will enter a minute of regeneration through silence. Following the minute, we will sound a Tibetan bowl 12 times to distribute the energy gathered in our group chalice. Why ring bells? As Thich Nhat Hanh shares, the bell calls us back to ourselves. He says, listen, listen, this wonderful sound brings me back to my true self. The deep meaning of the bell offers humanity the opportunity to realize our relationship with and within cosmos as we listen and align in the silence to the cosmic bell, to the planetary bell, Mount Kailash, the mountain of the bell, and to the bell within each one of us. So let us prepare for the Global Silent Minute. We take a deep breath as we imagine peace activated within our own hearts. And we unite our hearts across distance. And as we approach our Global Silent Minute, we take yet another moment, and we invite all those on the other side of the veil to join us. As we know, those who have withdrawn cannot impose their wills. However, if invited, there is an army of goodwill, willing to assist humanity to realize its destiny. We are mindful of those close to us who are now on the other side, and we take a moment and invite all those on the other side of the veil who are willing to assist. The next thing you will hear is an Indian elephant temple bell calling us into the Global Silent Minute, regeneration through silence. And when you hear the Tibetan singing bowl sounding 12 times, we are distributing the energies gathered in our chalice on behalf of the common good. Welcome to this sacred solstice experience that just opened with the Global Silent Minute and now moves into the longest night, embracing grief, celebrating light, which will be experienced in 3 movements: presencing, experiencing, uplifting. Please have a candle and a small bowl of water nearby to participate in sacred ceremony. It is now a great joy to welcome Woman Stands Shining, Pat McCabe, from the Dene Nation. She is a grandmother, is completely smitten by the Mother Earth, and offers to serve the very highest possibility for life, light, and love. Pat speaks and teaches internationally. Her current areas of focus are in reimagining money and protecting the sacred, and in remembering and recreating the medicine of the sacred masculine. Pat will guide us through presencing. Over to you, Pat.
Thank you very much, Dot. Thank you to one and all for the creation of this powerful and special time to be together as one family, one human family on this sacred Mother Earth. Very honored to be here today. So as we have asked, we're asking us to, each one of us to acknowledge this water. I want to begin that way. Even before I introduce myself formally, I want to introduce the elders here. So we have this holy mani with Chozane Wakan, the sacred water of life. And this is the one that binds all living things together as one family. So all of our ancestors, whatever part of the earth that we are from, has been drinking of this very water right here. This very one. I want to say welcome to my sisters here. They're helping me hold this space. Thank you. So all throughout our history and all throughout our lineages, we've all partaken of this water. And not only the human beings, but I want to also acknowledge the ancestors of the flying ones, the swimming ones, the creepy crawling ones, the four-legged ones. They and their ancestors also partook of this water, this very water right here. So this one binds really all of us together as living family. And then I also want to point out that this one has always been here. It's been traveling all around the earth, parts that we've never seen, parts that we probably never will see, heights and depths, life forms that maybe we are completely unaware of. But this water has been traveling throughout time as well. And so I say this one binds us to all times as well, because it's always been the same water traveling throughout the earth. And so I laugh when I say even Tyrannosaurus Rex had a drink from this water right here. So I like to think about all the lineages, all the peoples that have been that maybe are no longer here, all the life forms that have been that maybe are no longer here, all of their wisdom, all of their experience, all of their partaking of the light and the dark on this Mother Earth, the warm and the cold, all the aspects of living, all of their consciousness, all of their experience also held here at this sacred water. So one thing I like to say is that this water has seen it all. You know, my elders say that we've been through 6 worlds. 6 worlds already. And this water has traveled through all of them with us. So this water has a knowledge and a consciousness of a very, very long history. This water knows what we have done, how we have come to resolution, how we have come to move from one world to the next. All of our very deep losses. This is not the only time of loss. It is a great loss to lose a world. This water has held our grief. This water is made up of our tears. This water is made up of our ancestors' tears as well. This water is made up of all those potentials that our ancestors could see, but could not realize and manifest. And I feel like at this time, that is a part of our grief. We can see the possibilities. We can see what could be. But so many conflicts and obstacles seem to stand in our way, even though they're right there. We can almost reach out and touch them. Losses of lives that we feel maybe have left this earth too soon. Losses of elders. And for Indigenous nations, we've suffered during this time. Losing elders that are the knowledge keepers, that keep the knowledge of the language, the in-depth knowledge of all the many, many, many layers of our languages. All the knowledge they hold of our relationships to Earth, all the knowledge of our social technologies that kept peace. And so, even within our own families, to lose our elders, to lose our matriarchs and patriarchs, it's felt like tragedy too. So we join with our ancestors who have also experienced those losses. And this water holds that memory and that knowledge. This water holds the memory and knowledge of the strengths that we called upon, of the middle pathway through duality, of the answers to riddles that our ancestors faced. And so when I'm in ceremony with this water, I always tell my relatives, lean on this water. This water has so much knowledge. Its faith is incorruptible. And so we have an elder and an ally always here with us that can help us through. Then I also want to acknowledge this very small fire. This also binds all living ones together as one family, because all of our ancestors had to have a relationship with the fire. If our ancestors didn't have a relationship with the fire, you wouldn't be sitting here right now. So today it seems easy to go and flick a switch and have heat, flick a switch and have light. But let's remember that origin. And it could be, it could be that we will all be called upon to get close to the actual fire again. I don't know myself whether we get to continue to flip that switch. But I want us to remember our ancestors and the way they tended the fire, the way they carried it from place to place. One time in ceremony, I found myself outside of this ceremony house that looked like my people's ceremony house, the Hogan. And inside were elders of every tradition. They were all wearing different regalia, different ornamentation, different clothing. They were representing all the nations of humanity, all the elders of all the ways. And they were sitting with their backs against the wall, and they were looking to the center of the ceremony house. And there in the center of their ceremony house was the fire. Even the elders of the elders of the elders looking to the fire. And my grandparents have said, there's no university that can touch the school of the fire. So treat that fireplace with respect. And so at this time, I call upon that ceremony, the fire of the ceremony house of the world, to join with the fire that we light here as we begin to emerge, moving through this darkest and longest night here in the north, with our relatives in the south at their zenith, supporting us to be able to once again travel through this dark place, this dark night, and begin to reemerge into light. So in that way, I'm going to light this fire here. Ask this one to be present for us. So what I wanted to speak about here today is that we have been through a year or two of some very difficult passages. And I also have been through some difficult passages. I also have been being remade, I feel like, in some of the most profoundest ways. My life of traveling and speaking in different places on the earth has come to a close, it feels like. And interestingly, the whole time that I was engaged in creating some kind of prayer network all across this Mother Earth, the whole time I kept telling myself, be prepared, because this could all stop on a dime. In the same way that I say that I couldn't see how, I don't know that we're going to be able to continue to just keep flipping a switch to stay warm and flipping a switch to have light. I had that same sense that, I don't think we can just keep flying around the world all the time forever. So be ready, because it could stop. And sure enough, it did stop. But what I want to tell you is that even though it has stripped me of many of the usual medicines that I turn to, at this time, I'm taking care of my mom, who's 98 years old. It's that time for me to be in her life that way. And because of the pandemic, I chose not to continue to host in-person ceremonies before. And so I've been finding myself drawing from very different places, new places. And so I have been feeling a little fumbly and a little out of place and even unsure, because all of the things that I knew were no longer available to me. And what I think about is that my ancestors also came upon that time. In this continent, what we now call the United States, Indigenous people's ways were outlawed all the way until the 1970s. And so I had to remember them. I had to remember everything that they were going through. And I had to remember that they also were kept apart from their ceremonies. And so what did they do? What did they draw on? And I've been thinking about that. And I've been working with that. So for all the different losses that we have seen and felt in our lives, and where we thought we were headed, being interrupted, plans and dreams altered radically, I want to say that I feel like it has been creating a very rich, sincere, nutritious with sincerity, because of the humility of this time that this time has brought, is creating such a compost of precious soil for a new possibilities, So I see us as in this moment as being a time to really acknowledge that we can compost this grief. We can compost this disappointment. We can compost this uncertainty and fear even. And in humility, open ourselves up to the great mystery. That is when the most extraordinary grace comes, is when we come to the end of our own resource. When we come to the end of our own resource, that's when we come upon something that is truly new and truly nutritious in all new ways. So I was speaking with an elder recently, and he has said some things that I want to share with you that I've been working with. And it's been so helpful. Because as we look at how much division there is, how much oppositional points of view, seemingly in a gridlock, in a deadlock, he said these words to me. He said, "Is racism greater than spirit? Is scarcity greater than spirit?" "That's ludicrous," he said. "No, spirit is greater. The life force, that sacred motion of life, that is greater. That is greater than everything. That is greater than existence, because it is that one who brought existence into existence." And so I've been asking myself, and so how do I live the truth of this? How can, should, does my behavior reflect this reality? Do I live in such a way that allows the greater spirit to enter and transcend all human thinking, stories, identities, definitions of the problem, solutions, manifestos, histories, loyalties, victories, and defeats? How do I live the truth of deepest freedom, which is inextricably bound to the omnipotent reality of spirit? How do I live the truth of the deepest freedom, which is inextricably bound to the omnipotent reality of spirit? There is such freedom there. There is such freedom there. And this elder said to me, "If you say you are spiritual, then let it all go. Give it all away and start over with nothing. Spirit does this all the time." And so I had to ask myself, is this referring only to material possessions, or is it referring also to mental possessions, emotional possessions, spiritual possessions? And my elder said, in order to allow for a new reality, we will have to give up something. We will have to give up some of our existing reality in order to allow for a new reality to enter. And so I've been thinking about the ancestors, those ones on the other side that we invoke to be with us here now. If my ancestors do not rest frozen in time where they fell, justly or unjustly, forever bound in atrocity, but instead continue to evolve from that moment to this with sight beyond sight, as can be or is afforded in the spirit world, with multidimensional perception, within the context of time out of time, can it be that with all of this capacity that they remain bent on revenge, consumed with rage, sorrow, and despair? Are they still bound by material greed and conquest in the immaterial realm? Do they remain male or female, brown or white, tall or short, healthy or unhealthy? Or do they become something else entirely? From their extraordinary vantage, what would they hope for me, knowing what they know now? Where are they leading me to now? What concerns them most as they watch me in my earthwalk life? Do they ask for my trauma? Does it help? Can it help them? Do they ask for my defense? Do they only draw their insight from Earth, or are they now able to draw their insight from the stars, from the galactic, from dimensions I know nothing about? How does that change their view, and how is it different from mine? So as I expand that story about what happened in history, my elder is saying to me, when we look at historical points, points of atrocity, points of loss, frozen in time, as though our ancestors who may have suffered atrocity fell face down and never rose, never changed, only knew their defeat. That has inspired me to orient in a very specific way. But what I feel like is happening in this descent into this solstice is that I can see that they didn't remain there. They have been continuing to evolve and consider all that took place. And now, from this vantage point of the afterlife, they have wisdom. They have understanding of mechanisms and mechanics that I can't even begin to know being embodied here. But these are my ancestors. These are the ones who prayed and dreamt for me to come into being, prayed for my well-being, prayed for my health and happiness. And I believe they continue to pray for my health and happiness from where they are. And so now I'm beginning to feel them and see them traveling far beyond me, far beyond this time, in such deep knowledge, in alignment with that source of where the silence comes from, in alignment with the source of light that is returning. And so instead of being asleep in despair, I see them radiant, powerful. Okay. So given that, I've been asked, what shall my contribution be in this time out of time? How do I move with such power, possibility, and freedom with 1,000 ancestors, not only behind me, but even more thrilling, far ahead of me, reconciled, retrieved, resurrected, and luminous, beckoning to a new possibility. So we have this opportunity as humanity to reconsider who we are, where we are, how it is, how we are all related with that omnipotent presence holding all of it. That structure of light, that structure of motion, sacred motion, holding it all. So at this time, I wanted to turn to my brother, Chief Dwayne Perry, as sunset comes to New York and to Lenape Nation.
Okay, I guess. Well, thank you, Auntie Pat. I really sort of missed your smile over time. Thank you for the beautiful, beautiful words of reflection. I'd just like to share a small prayer to support all of the beautiful things you've been saying. Wanabazu, Gichinamokwang, Bemi Baku Makwa, Tetelamapo, Wawashishi Odui Demi Wag. Kishilamokwang, we ask that your light may guide us onto the path of the righteous. As we stand before the unknown, let the wings of the eagle lift our sounds to the Creator, that we may have courage and our people may have light and be protected from all darkness. May the song lines and the sacred hoops of the nations once again be known and cherished throughout the world. Let us all walk together without fear. pray all shall walk in the unity that the Creator had given us before time. Let our fireplaces be portals to the light, and our song lines be the path to peace, to a new way, a real good way, a good way of knowledge and unity for all. May our grandmother, the earth, forgive us for our delinquencies. May she have pity and allow us to be unified as it was in the beginning, to help heal her and ourselves to heal from the many scars we have self-inflicted and for the many pains we have brought upon the earth, from the poisons we have intentionally left to run deep into her veins, to the waters of life we have made rancid in a desire driven by an insatiable need of self-aggrandizement. Let us now heed the moans of the sky that we may yet continue to cradle us in the hope we may simply learn to be. Together, we offer up sounds of sorrows, sounds of hope, sounds which we pray will bring a unity of light in our lives that peace may prevail. We send up sounds that all may be remembered in their need and in their glory. Let no one forget the Creator, lest in darkness they are forgotten by the sacred. Keep us, Kishilamokwang, in the warmth of your love forever. Let the distancing among us, among each other, become none, as in kindness we shall flourish, and in unity peace shall prevail. Kishilamokwang, remember us in your dreams, and it is the sacred self we must now join as one with all, the four-legged, the mammal people, the swimmers, the crawlers, the flyers, the stones, the green, the earth, and the water. Kishilamokwang, I pray, let us learn. Kishilamokwang, let us learn simply to be. May peace prevail. Lungumatit, Anishi, 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 oh. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Chief Dwayne. So as we travel on through this prayer, collective prayer that has been thought about for many weeks now, I just ask that we think of really being willing to release those, being willing to let them fall, really let them be a deep sign of our sincerity and our humility at this time. Let them fall into the compost that has been made in the last 2 years, and let them find their way with the spirit of life, with the spirit of light, with the spirit of love, to begin to grow what comes next. Beauty, it is finished.
Akene, Akene, Akene. Thank you, dear Auntie Pat, Woman Stand Shining. Thank you so much for that gift. All of those gifts. Mm. Mm. So much gratitude to you and all your relations. Now I'd like to introduce our sister, Kristen Hoffman. Dear sister, your mission to amplify healing and awareness through the vehicles of song, sound, powerful storytelling, and wellness. Thank you for your sacred presence and for your soul on.
Oh, what an honor to be here with you all today. Thank you, dearest Auntie Pat, for seeding this space with presence and love and connection to the earth and our ancestors. Thank you. Thank you, Chief Dwayne, for bringing through your powerful prayers. And it is my great honor to invite music into this space, this song that has never before been written or sung. I would like to think that we are all sending our intentions, our visions, our prayers into this music that will be birthed in this moment as solom, light weaving with the vibration of the universe. May I be a vessel that can carry the highest intention, the highest collective intention of spirit and divine in this moment. Thank you. tears flow back to the heart of the mother. Hear the tears flow. Here are tears flowing back to the heart of the mother. Tears are flowing back to the heart of the mother. Step into this morning, our morning of grace, our morning of grace. Dear Spirit, hold us now in this longest night. Here are tears, they're falling down. Dear Spirit, hold us now in your graceful arms of all creation. Dear Spirit, hold us now in the arms of your love. Tears flowing back to the heart of a mother. Tears flowing back to the heart of a mother. Our tears flowing back to the heart of a mother. Our tears flowing back to the heart of a mother.
Thank you, Kristen. Fire purifies, and fire brings light to darkness and warmth to the cold. Tonight, as part of our longest night ceremony, we have created a sacred fire. And we invite you, if you have a grief, a remembrance, or a concern that you would like to have offered to this fire, please write it in the chat. If you're watching the live stream, you can post your offering in the comments. And please write the word fire before your statement, so we'll know it's distinguished from other messages. I will be burning each of your offerings in a fire that has been specially prepared. And during the course of this ceremony, your wishes, your griefs, your concerns, and your remembrances will be buried, along with the prayer that your grief will be transformed and lightened.
Now I have the joy of introducing our sister, dear Libby Roderick. Welcome. You're an incredible gift to this circle, and we're so grateful that you're here to share your song, Winter Wheat. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. I come from the traditional sacred and unceded lands of the Dena'ina people in Alaska. And at the moment, I am on the Alwan and Minak lands down in the Bay Area of California. This song honors our elders who stay with us on the journey. And I want to send it out particularly to you, Auntie Pat and Dwayne. I appreciated what you shared. It's a song called Winter Wheat. When I was young, I thought that failure was impossible. All wrongs would be righted in my time. Now I am old, I see that failure is impossible. I pass the torch to you. Will you hold it high? For we are sowing winter wheat, that other hands will harvest, that they might have enough to eat. After we are gone, we will plant shade trees. We will not sit under, we will light candles, that others can see their way. We'll struggle for justice, though we'll never see it flower. Our children's children will live in peace one day. When I was young, I thought there are no human enemies. People must be taught to hate and fear. Now I am old, I know there are no human enemies, but only souls in pain, and we can reach them if we dare. So we are sowing winter wheat, that other hands will harvest, that they might have enough to eat. After we are gone, each generation passes like the leaves on the old oak tree whose roots are strong. Each new generation bursts out like the spring, and they will be the ones to carry on. When I was young, I dreamed the earth was healed and whole again, creatures, trees, and rivers free and wild. Now I am old, I dream the planet healed and whole again, that dreams reborn forever in the heart of each new child. So we are sowing winter wheat, that other hands will harvest, that they might have enough to eat. After we are gone, we will plant shade trees. We will not sit under, we will light candles, that others can see their way. We'll struggle for justice, though we'll never see it flower. Our children's children will live in peace one day. We will plant shade trees, that we will not sit under. We will light candles, that others can see their way. We'll struggle for justice, though we'll never see it flower. Our children's children will live in peace one day. Our children's children will live in peace one day. All the children will live in peace one day.
Greetings, everyone. I'd like us all to allow this video to be a placeholder, a space for feeling the grief of our extinction event that we are witnessing today. The music was written for the Pachamama Alliance, and the images were compiled for this purpose. Let this music and these images allow you to feel the depth of how dear these animals are to us as we watch them through this powerful time.
I'm honored to be here with all of you on this very, very special occasion. And my offering are simple sounds. I'm Milagros Phillips, and I invite you to just absorb. Brings in brings in Krolveis in your pontigim Zidum dido yondal Brengdal lekoveindi Sidalakirundai, Itelvolevreindai, Kizoi, Kizoi. Sinolambai, si kalvrimneheti, sing yakai hanglo rampei, sing dalle grimvrehendi, si rom diki, sumbai livrum, si indi. Umzi ila indai sovalidandi kitala bromehiti siko inayambe sidaimzi sidaimzi Siroimzi okuvre siri kolai skindayaiti siri koldai skindetai tangyapti Tingerui singvi, tingerui singvi, tirui singvi, selai di, tingdui rimvi, himdal zendo sovrei, Iru ilayambai, skemde talzike yande, siru ilayande, skemdai talvinditai, skiru iriyai, sirundi, sirundi. Zero, zero, As you sit here quietly in your loss, there's something I want to share with you. You are not alone. You are surrounded by angels. Their wings folding around you, holding you, in your grief, and aloneness. There are so many of them. And they're here for you.
So listen into your heart. Maybe you'll notice its presence, a fullness in the air, a wisp of light. A note. Listen with your heart. And open up to the consolation and the simplicity of this moment. This moment of you alone. There is so much more. They are here for you in love.
The longest night lived in the hearts of humankind from the dawn of creation. Mother's tears poured into chalices held by Shadow's hand, as wailing voices corralled up through treetops of the ages. We reached for stars to save us, prayed for their light to illuminate and scorch the darkness. The longest night, in denial of our nature, we cry, unable to see the truth. Through black veils of separation comes our divine sadness, yearning aloneness. Locked in chambers of our own illusion, we call to keepers, save us. But sovereignty must first be claimed to step free into light. The longest night. Listen deep into pools of sorrow, and you will remember love. The balm of life, pure song of freedom. She will lead you back past the fears and threats, beyond the frozen brittle shell of your demise. Singing from your soul that never dies. Find your courage, reach out your hand into collective embrace. Shine. One day, I'll meet you on the bridge of time, and we'll give thanks. Yes, we'll give thanks to the longest night.
Hi, sis. Greetings to all my brothers and sisters. My name is Abada January, and I'm a Khoi Indigenous woman. I'm the daughter, granddaughter, and great-great-granddaughter of a long line of Abram Januaries. My ancestry connects me to the core of the southern hemisphere of Africa. My ancestors were the caretakers and guardians of the Cape, which we also know as the mother city in South Africa. We were here before any invasion and injustices, and we are still here. Behind me stand generations upon generations of hurt, pain, humiliation, shame, violence, and suffering. Trauma to the extent that our bodies have separated from our souls. We have been disconnected from our land, disconnected from our language, disconnected from our tradition, disconnected from our culture, disconnected from our ancestors, and disconnected from our grandfather, the Hurikwaha, also known as Table Mountain, and also disconnected from all of you, brothers and sisters of the earth. Grandfather witnessed all which happened over millennia. With him, earth is crying, as her peoples, her children, are not yet free. Even though we are continents apart, I am in the longest day, while you are in the longest night. Please know that my story is your story. Your pain is my pain. Your grief is my grief. Your tears are my tears. My moon is your moon. My sun is your sun. And my mother is your mother. From this moment, as we move forward into the light, let us together weave the broken threads of the past and reconnect the peoples of grandfather with our brothers and sisters at Split Rock in New York, Uluru in Australia, Mount Fuji in Japan and beyond. Peoples of the earth, as we approach the end of your longest night, from the southern hemisphere of Africa, we are holding space for you as you move into the light. Together, we will nourish the light that tomorrow brings for all of us, and especially for our emerging generations. Mother, your children are returning home. I'm so grateful for all my relations for our interconnectedness, for the love and the sharing of light. I'm going to give over to my sister, Reverend Pippa Jones, who will take you further. Gangans. Thank you.
Gangans. And greetings to you all from Cape Town, South Africa. And thank you, my beloved sister Zabada. May these words be a prayer, and may we weave together and build an invisible bridge between us and you, between the south and north of our beautiful, wondrous home, Mother Earth, between dark and light. By Native American poet Laureate Joy Harjo, for calling the spirit back from wandering the earth in its human feet. Open the door, then close it behind you. Take a breath offered by friendly winds and give it back with gratitude. If you sing, it will give your spirit lift to fly to the stars' ears and back. Acknowledge this earth who has cared for you since you were a dream. Be respectful of the small insects, birds, and animal people who accompany you, and ask their forgiveness for the harm we humans have brought down upon them. Do not worry. The heart knows the way. Let go of the pain you are holding in your mind, your shoulders, your heart, and all the way to your feet. Let go of the pain of your ancestors to make way for those who are headed in our direction. Call upon the hope and the help of those who love you. And these helpers may take many forms: animal, element, bird, saint, stone, or ancestor. And call your spirit back. It may be caught in corners and creases of shame, judgment, abuse. Speak to it as you would to a beloved child, and welcome your spirit back from its wandering. It may return in pieces, in tatters, but gather them together. They will be happy to be found after being lost for so long. Your spirit will need to sleep a while after it is bathed and given clean clothes. And then you can have a party. Invite everyone you know who loves and supports you, and keep room for those who have no other place to go. Then you must do this. Help the next person find their way through the dark. Thank you.
It is such an honor to be here with all of you in this sacred space of holding our journey together in the last 2 years. And we have been grieving the loss of many things. And, you know, I think one of the things that many of us have experienced in this time together is the journey onward of our beloveds that have transitioned and have moved beyond this experience into that light that we speak of. And so my brother made his transition in August of this year, and a song moved through me in a deep way after he had merged again with divine love. And this song, it spoke to my remembrance of him and remembering who he is and remembering what he came here to express in this lifetime. And those precious memories just flood in, I know, for all of us who have lost beloveds during this time. And so I offer this song, and it's a music video that my beloved partner, Bob Baker, helped me to create. And it features many of our beloveds who have transitioned during this time. And also it honors our beloved four-leggeds also. So please just take a moment as we pay tribute to the lives that have journeyed on beyond this time. And so thank you. Thank you.
We are remembering who you are, why you came, why you're here. You are loved. We are remembering who you are, why you came, why you're here.
We are remembering who you are, why you came, why you're here. You are love. We are remembering who you are, why you came, why you're here. You are love. 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 You
greetings to all of you in this sacred circle, the longest night, embracing our grief, celebrating the light. What a profound and moving program this has been so far, of feeling and sensing into and embracing our collective grief. And now it is time to uplift and celebrate the light. So please join me in taking a journey across the sea to Japan, often called the land of the rising sun. Oops. To Mount Fuji, one of the sacred mountains and portals on Earth, where the divine light pours into the planetary heart. Behind me, you see Mount Fuji, and here at the foot of Mount Fuji is a site called Fuji Sanctuary, home of Byakko Shinkokai and the spiritual birthplace of May Peace Prevail on Earth, which many of you love this saying and have embraced it over the years. You also see the open prayer field where thousands gather to offer their prayers for the awakening of humanity. So, welcome to Fuji Sanctuary. And as the video curtain opens, we enter the main prayer hall. This is called the dojo. And in the middle, you see a calligraphy, which was written by the late founder, Masahisa Goi, who was the author of the universal message and prayer, May Peace Prevail on Earth. You see two characters, which we read. If I read, it says, Byakko, which means white light. So what a perfect setting to embrace and celebrate the light. Please join me in opening your hearts wide and allowing this white light to enter the inner sanctuary of our being, to uplift and heal the souls of humanity. So now I invite our friends from Fuji to offer the divine spark in mudra for the awakening of all humanity and calling in the light. So let us begin. What a profound offering live from Fuji Sanctuary in celebrating the light within all of us. Let's just take a moment now to take a deep breath together, to take in the beauty of this moment, to fill our inner sanctuary with this gift of light. And once again, I would like to call back our friends from Fuji to offer the divine spark in mudra once again, but this time I welcome you to join in and follow the movements if you wish. But most importantly, let's visualize together uplifting humanity from the frequencies of pain, suffering, and grief to embrace the pure vibration of love and light. While we're watching the mudra, you are invited to repeat the mantra. The divine light of humanity has reawakened. The divine light of humanity has reawakened. The divine light of humanity has reawakened. So, Fuji, let us begin. Thank you so much for allowing us to embrace and celebrate the love from Fuji Sanctuary. And I'd like to thank our friends Kaoru, Aya, Shuhei, and Kyoya for joining us and volunteering to wake up very early in the morning to offer this mudra live for us. So thank you again, Kaoru and Aya and Shuhei and Kyoya. Thank you so much. They're my dear colleagues at Fuji Sanctuary. I love you. Thank you so much for uplifting the souls of humanity. Thank you so much. And also producer Stano, is he somewhere? Stano, thank you so much, Stano. Thank you, Stano. He produced this with us. And Taki-san, I don't know, he's the tech, but maybe he can run up and just greet you. Thank you, Taki-san. Thank you so much. Thank you. Infinite gratitude. And let's all say together, may peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth. Infinite gratitude.
It is an honor to be here to share this song with you, which is a remembering song. As someone who loves the work of Ram Dass and Neem Karoli Baba, I remember the words love, serve, and remember. Love everyone, serve everyone, remember God. Love everyone, serve everyone, remember who you are. Remind each other who we are. At the end of this song, do you remember who you are? I'm going to invite you to sing as a vow to yourself and to all of us. We will remember who we are. It's a beautiful vow because it's a recognition of the continuation of life, no matter what form we live in, no matter what form, even if we pass through to the other side. And the recognition that we will remember who we are. We will remember that we are a part of the whole, the one heart. And we will remind each other who we are. That's the heart of this song's intention. It's a great honor. And as before I begin, the heart of our innate wholeness lies in the rest and the rejuvenation. And there's an event coming up from January 1st to the 7th. And it's an event that I think is one of the most important. It's called 7 Days of Rest. And I'm going to put it in the chat right there. I encourage you all to be a part of the field that is open source, and everyone has a chance to honor the innate wholeness that comes forward when we step into and embrace and allow the fullness of rest. That's what's so beautiful about rest. We remember who we are in the heart of rest. So this song was written for my sister, Alexis, who died 11 years ago, 12 years ago. The sun comes up, I hear a cry. A baby's born, I see her eyes. We're made of grace and a wisp of stars. Do you remember who you are? We take first steps and we fall each day. Then we take that breath to go on our way. We're made of hope and a wisp of stars. Do you remember who you are? Seasons come and seasons go, like clouds pass through the sky. First we're born and then we go, without ever knowing why. We have this moment, we have each other. We have this breath of life that's gone in a blink of an eye. We fill our days and watch. We fill our days and fill our, watch it grow. I forgot the words. Here we go. We fill our days with endless goals. There we go. Ah, da, da, da. Oh my God, flummoxed by this. We're made of grace and a wisp of stars. Do you remember who you are. We plant a seed and watch it grow. A flower blooms, but the petals know we're a flash of light and a wind. We're a flash of light and a wisp of stars. Do you remember? Will you remember? Will we remember who we are? So I invite you to put your hand on your heart and sing these words as a vow to you and to all of us. It goes like this. We will remember who we are. 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 We're a flash of light and a wisp of stars. We will remember. We will remind you. We will remember who we are. Thank you. May peace prevail on earth.
The sacred fire has been burning, and each of your offerings has been placed in it one at a time. Each offering taken up by the fire. May you feel transformed and purified. May you remember that no matter how dark the light, there is always beauty. There is always the possibility of light. invite Hereditary Chief Phil Lane to offer a prayer when the time is right.
Itakiapi. Itakiapi. There it is. Itakiapi. Our very, very beloved and respected members of our human family. This has been such a most beautiful, beautiful event. I just want to thank all the sisters, Sister Pat, Fumi, Trebi, Dot, Becky, Pipa, who I'm just getting a chance to know, of course, Pookie, Simbara, and just meeting, as well as Toja Kristen, Tushka Ben, Brother Ben, and Gary, beautiful song. Everybody, it's been so beautiful. So I want to offer this prayer, this time, and I thank you again for persevering. This was so beautiful, just so beautiful. But I want to pray at this time, this great change. Tomorrow, we'll celebrate the second anniversary of the day that shall not be followed by night, fulfillment of that prophecy. O Tunkashla Wakantaka, creator of the universe, most beloved one, all powerful one, most kind one, most compassionate one, ever forgiving one. O ancient of days, O blessed beauty, we call upon your holy power at this time, on this day that shall not be followed by night, as we emerge as prophesied from the pain and hurt and sadness and grief in this veil of tears we've been living in. Especially at this time, I want to remember all our relatives, past, present, and future, who are closer to their closest vein. They're suffering, but especially we want to remember this day. All the children on this Mother Earth who are suffering today, who have no food to eat, who have no clean water to drink, whose parents are feeling completely hopeless, those that are in hospitals, in prisons, locked up for whatever reason. This is not the world we want to be in, Creator. We just ask and give thanksgiving that we're now awakening to the spiritual reality that we're one human family, and the hurt of one is the hurt of all, and the honor of one is the honor of all. Most beloved one, oh, most precious one, we call upon all the tribes and nations of the east, from where comes the red sunrise. They might come together in unity and harmony, in oneness and thanksgiving and forgiveness, together as one heart and one mind in many bodies. Oh, beloved one, ever abiding one, we call upon all the tribes and nations of the south, from where comes new life, where the springtime comes, that they might come together in unity and harmony with thanksgiving. And all those that are suffering today, suffering in whatever way, physically suffering, in pain, emotionally suffering for the loss of loved ones, the loss of themselves, their mistakes, whatever that is, we might find forgiveness in our own hearts for ourselves, as well as for all living things. Creator, we just ask this, and we call upon all the tribes and nations of the west, from where comes thunder, lightning, and rain. We call upon those spiritual powers of thunder, lightning, and rain to awaken the hearts and minds of our human family to our spiritual reality that we're one. Not only one, but the prior unity and oneness of our human family. We've always been one in our infinity. There is no beginning that has no beginning, and there's no end that has no end. For we have been here forever, and we are just awakening to the reality that we are universal human beings. Same time, respecting and honoring all the greatness and beauty we've come through from our ancestors. For we are their spiritual representatives today. We represent all that has gone before us. And so it's in our hands. We can make the peace by 2030, which we know and we pray with all our soul will unfold. We call upon those tribes and nations of the north, from where comes the white snow, that purifying north wind, to purify our hearts and minds today, to purify our hearts and minds of any sadness, of any depressions, of any feelings that are going to prevent us from completely and totally opening the door, preparing the way, make safe the path, and guiding us to those souls you prepared for your cause. They may have guided to us that we may, in fact, have peace prevail on this Mother Earth. We give thanksgiving to Father Sky. We ask forgiveness for the overabundance of masculine energy that has brought us to this place of history where we are, especially my generation. Let us step back and allow womankind in the 7th generation to step forward into leadership. We might learn how to truly achieve peace on earth. Most of all here, all sacred, we humble ourselves before our beloved mother. Ina, our Mother Earth, our mother. And while we realize that our Mother Earth is the same as our mother who gave us birth, and we remember that mother this day, the mother who back in our lives, at our beginning of our lives, through great pain, gave us this gift of life, this precious gift of life to be alive at this time of history has been prayed for and prophesied forever. Please give thanksgiving that way, in a good way to all living things. And I'm going to close with this prayer for unity. Oh my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal unto them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, lead them not to themselves, but guide their steps with the light of knowledge and cheer their hearts by thy love. Verily, thou art their helper and their Lord. Haoli michante washtelo, shukmano hemeado, chinupasapa hemeado, haoli michante washtelo. May 2022, without question, be our greatest year of all. Haoli michante washtelo.
Na yoho hiu isengwa gikehe kwana gisengwa gikehe ku laso ko ihme uraso ko kwa sidata sinana sidabadi chichikulo timetsai chichunchi. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for being today here in this beautiful gathering. Remembering who we are as human beings in these life cycles, today is a special day. In front of this sacred fire, grandpa fire, we are delivering our prayers, our connections, our feelings and actions. We have accomplished a beautiful and very difficult year. 2021 represents also in between the 13 years of cleansing from May 3rd, 2013 to May 3rd, 2026. We have witnessed and we are witnessing the ecological crisis and the climate crisis, the spiritual crisis that we have as human beings because we have misbehaved. with the essence of life. We have misbehaved with Mother Earth and Father Sky. That's why we are here, sharing our prayers to bring consciousness, how to behave and how to live in peace and harmony and in responsibility with the 4 sacred elements. Acknowledging the 4 directions at the center, the 4 colors that give us life, and also the rainbow, the human family, the connection with Father Sky and with Mother Earth. Acknowledging that we are here for a while, not forever. But we are here, we must remember who we are as human species. We are not the peak of the creation. We are just another species. And we have the chance to correct our ways through the original instructions, through the original principles, how to live in peace, harmony, responsibility, and most of all, live in reciprocity. We have to give back for every single day that we breathe. We are recalling the 4 sacred elements because we are the reflection of those sacred elements: the fire, the air, the earth, and the wind. We are here today because we know that this unification process is about exchanging the good ways, the good living ways of being in this world, regardless how we think in the Great Spirit, because we are the reflection of those sacred elements, because we breathe, we eat, we think, and we walk. Today is a beautiful day. We are celebrating this solstice as a remembrance that we are in cycles and we are being prepared for this new dawn, because this is the time, and the time is now, to take our responsibility in our hands. From the me to the we. We cannot think anymore about just individuals. From the I, egoistic or egocentric or anthropocentric way of thinking that is killing Mother Earth and all living species. We have the chance today and onwards to think and honor about our ancestors, because we are here for a reason. And that reason is the care of life for us and for the future generations to come. Brothers and sisters, may you, your community, and your families be blessed for this 2022. And whatever we do it in a collective way, in this unity world, in this unified way of thinking. May you be blessed, your families, your communities, and your sacred territories. Hiya, hiya, hiya. Come on the key, come on the key, come on the key. Thank you.
I'm Reverend Joni Carley. I'm here to offer the closing meditation and prayer with the prayer that this helps seal this ceremony in your heart and your soul. Close your eyes. Come into that unified field of meditation. Feel into the light that flows in, out, through, and around us. Breathe with that primordial light of spirit, that spark of life. As you breathe in, present yourself to the divine light. And as you breathe out, release the grace of divine light. As you breathe in, feel, experience, know the light of love in you. And as you breathe out, spread that light of love all around you, your area, in the world, in the universe. And as you breathe in the upliftment into higher love, higher light. And as you breathe out into the new dawn that the solstice brings, shine your light with the universality of the water. Shine your light with the university of fire. Shine your light with the beauty of the land, the clarity of the air, the heart of the mother, and the hearts and souls of each other. Shine your light with the light beings around us. Shine your light on the bridge of time and with all the bridges that unify all of our relations. Shine your light with the help and the hope of all who love. Shine your light with all spirits who are called back to universal light. Shine your light with the inner sanctuaries that hold each of our divine sparks. Shine your light with the reawakening of the divine light of humanity. Shine your light with all new births, new paths, new visions. Shine your light with this moment, and this moment, and this moment, and every moment that we remember who we are. Shine your light with the holy power that holds us as one earth family, that holds us as one heart, one mind, that lives in many bodies. Shine your light with infinite love. Please pray with me. We call on the one light, the one love, the one spark of spirit, the God, Allah, divine mother, that which cannot be named. We call on the primordial light pulse that fuels the flame of our souls. And we know, just like the stars don't go out during the day, we are each indwelled by a divine light that lives in us, no matter whether our lives feel light or dark. We give thanks for that divine spark of light in each of us that can never be extinguished or put out. We give thanks that we came together on this darkest day to go all in on the light of love. No matter what, no matter who, no matter where, no matter when, we say, let love's light shine. We give thanks that light always returns. And when it does, we give thanks for the new understanding it brings. And as the world turns this solstice, may the new light guide us toward ever more compassionate, just, joyful, and loving world. We offer our gratitude for all the joys and sufferings that brought us to right here, right now, to this historic moment of unprecedented possibility. We give thanks for all the generations of light bearers who forged the path for us to be here, right now. We give thanks that the light of love always calls us toward it. And we give thanks for this harmonic convergence of souls on this solstice that has fanned our inner flames. And we give thanks for how much we light each other up when we come together in spirit. We release this prayer knowing that we each go forward as the expression of divine light that lives in, of, and through us, always. So it is. Blessed be. Amen. May peace prevail on earth.